Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 71 of the Dear Herbalist podcast titled The Art of Herbal Formulation, Understanding Individual Constitutions. If you are new here, you are most certainly welcome. And if you are a returning listener, thank you so much for your continued support and continued listening. I definitely appreciate that. Now, today we're going to talk about a person's constitution. And if you're an herbalist, you've heard this word before. If you are not, you may have heard it, but it's definitely a very important part of the formulation series that we have been talking about over the past few weeks. So today, let's dive in a little bit deeper about a person's individual constitution. When herbalists talk about identifying a person's individual constitution, we are referring to understanding the unique physical, mental, and emotional characteristics that make up a person's overall health profile. This concept is very important because in many traditional systems of medicine, including traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, and any of those traditional systems, including Western, this concept is important in many traditional systems of herbal medicine. This includes traditional Chinese medicine and ancient Ayurvedic medicine. So I'm going to give you a breakdown of what it means and why it is important in herbal formulation. So let's first define it. Okay. What is a person's constitution? A person's constitution refers to their inherent and relatively stable physical, physiological, and psychological characteristics. Now, this does include physical attributes such as your body type or your complexion, your physiological tendencies such as digestion, your metabolism, your energy levels. It includes your psychological traits, so your temperament, your emotional tendencies, etc., and your predispositions to certain health imbalances or diseases. So how do we determine what your constitution is? Number one, through observation and physical appearance. So we look at the person's skin tone, their complexion, their body type, and their energy level. Are they often flushed and pale? Are they thin? Are they robust? These are typically the things that you observe from somebody that's actually sitting in front of you. So, for example, a person with a thin, delicate frame and pale skin might have an energy deficiency or something like that, right? They may present with that type of constitution. The next thing that we look at to determine a person's constitution, and this is very effective in traditional Chinese medicine. So I would encourage everyone to learn about how to observe these particular things. And it's the tongue and pulse diagnosis. Now, the tongue reflects the internal health of the body. They look at its color, its shape, and its coating to provide clues to a person's constitution. The pulse diagnosis helps you to understand the body's overall energy flow and balance. A weak, slow pulse may indicate a yin or qi deficiency, while a strong, rapid pulse may indicate a yang or heat constitution. The other thing that we look at to determine a person's physical constitution are symptoms and tendencies. So we consider, what is the person's regular health complaints? Do they often feel cold or hot? Are they prone to digestive issues, fatigue, emotional imbalances? These tendencies offer insights into a person's individual constitution. So for example, if somebody is having frequent digestive issues, this could indicate that they are having a deficiency in their spleen, right? The other things that we look at is emotional and mental characteristics. So any type of emotional tendencies, such as whether a person is naturally anxious, if they're naturally sad or high energy, all of these things are considered. So, for example, if somebody is an emotionally intense person, they might have a constitution that is prone to liver stagnation. So that is one of the things that you want to take a look at, because the mind and your emotions and all these things do affect the body, and people don't believe that, but it does happen. The other thing that we look at is the environmental as well as lifestyle factors. You cannot forget these things. So we look at how a person responds to their environment and their lifestyle. Do they thrive in hot weather, or do they prefer cool climates? Are they easily stressed by work or daily challenges? These provide, further clues about their constitution. Do they smoke? Do they drink? Do they take drugs? Are they somebody that's prone to, sugar addictions and these other type of things? All of these matter in terms of determining, their constitution. It'll give you kind of like a clue on how that works. So what are some common constitutions and how could you balance these? I always say get a pen and pencil. Hopefully you have one ready to write these down. I'm going to give you some. I'm going to kind of vacillate between, Western herbalism and traditional Chinese medicine. I like traditional Chinese medicine and their methods because it's a system. They have a systematic way of understanding the human body, medicine, and that type of stuff, and making assessments of the human body. So that's why you'll always hear me reference this particular model, because I do appreciate how they have things organized. However, we can't forget, what Western herbalism also has brought to the field of herbal medicine. There are some great things there as well. So you'll hear me kind of vacillate between the two. Now, let's look at these common constitution. The first one, hot constitution. So this person tends to feel warm or hot. They're prone to redness, inflammation, rashes, irritability, quick temper, energetic, restless. They prefer colder environments. Now, how you can balance out this constitution is by using cooling herbs. So everything in herbal medicine is about balance. And you'll hear me say that 1,000 times. It's about balancing the scales. So if you have someone that is very a lot of heat in the body, then you want to try to balance them out with cooling herbs. So your peppermints, your hibiscus, chamomiles, dandelions, right? As far as their diet, they want to eat cooling foods like cucumbers and watermelons and leafy greens. For their lifestyle, you want to encourage rest and cooling activities such as swimming. And to manage their irritability, meditation and these other type of things to help calm the mind down. Now, a person with a hot constitution may benefit from a tea blend with peppermint and chamomile to reduce heat and inflammation. And of course, you can use other herbs as well. Just make sure that they have a cooling effect on the body. Another constitution is the cold constitution. Now, the characteristics of this person, they tend to feel cold and they have poor circulation. So they're prone to fatigue, sluggish digestion, cold hands and feet, low energy, but they prefer warmth. So how you can balance this constitution is through warming herbs. So your ginger, cinnamon, garlic, black pepper. And the diet, you can recommend a diet of warming foods like soups, stews, roots, vegetables, whole grains, those type of things. Lifestyle recommendations, warm baths, using heating pads, engaging in physical activity to improve circulation. And a quick note about that as well. A lot of people with circulation issues, you got to get up and move. I can't say that enough. You got to get up and move. The body needs help in that area. Exercise, walking, these type of things help circulation. If you get any type of stagnancy anywhere in the body, it's because of the fact that you are not moving. Things are not able to be moving throughout the body. So exercise, walking, movement, these things are very important. And I know in these healthy United States, we are so used to our sedentary lifestyles, or we hop into a car or we hop on a bus. Somebody is picking our legs up off the ground and hauling us somewhere, right? Whereas if we were in certain other countries, especially certain countries in Europe, you're walking everywhere. Right? So if you're walking everywhere, you're getting your exercise, you are typically not having circulation issues. So when it comes to lifestyle, we have to make exercise a regular part of our lifestyle. And I don't necessarily mean go to the gym. You can, but just make your lifestyle to where you have no other choice, but you have to exercise, you have to walk, you have to lift things that may be a little bit heavier than what you're used to, because that allows you to work out without feeling like a workout. It's just a part of your lifestyle. So improve circulation, especially with people with cold constitutions. So a person with a cold constitution might benefit or find some relief from drinking ginger tea to help boost circulation as well as improve digestion. The next constitution is a damp constitution. With this constitution, this person is prone to sluggish digestion, bloating, and mucus buildup. They tend to have heavy limbs, edema, which is water retention, okay? And they often feel lethargic, but they prefer dry environments. Now, you can balance out this constitution by using dry herbs such as nettles, dandelion root, horsetail, or even juniper berry. As far as their diet, you want to recommend that they avoid, or if this is for you, avoid dairy, greasy foods, and refined sugars, which can increase dampness. As far as your lifestyle, you want to recommend physical movement, exercises like walking, right? And all of these things help dry the body's excess moisture. Dandelion root tea can be helpful for someone with dampness to support healthy digestion as well as to remove excess fluids. The next constitution is your dry constitution. So this person tends to have dry skin, dry hair, constipation, dry eyes. They are prone to dehydration, dry coughs, respiratory issues. They prefer humid environments, and they may feel tightness in their muscles or joints. So to balance this constitution, you want to include moistening herbs such as your marshmallow root and licorice root, slippery elm, flaxseed, these type of moistening herbs. As far as their diet, you want to focus on hydrating foods like cucumbers, aloe vera, and adding healthy fats such as avocados, nuts, and seeds. As far as their lifestyle recommendations, utilize humidifiers, increase your water intake, and use moisturizing lotions. So you can use shea butter. I'm a big proponent of shea butter. I love that, right? You could consider using a marshmallow root infusion, which can soothe and hydrate the mucous membranes, helping someone with a dry constitution feel more balanced. Now, the next constitution is a key deficiency constitution, and this key is energy, okay? And this is a concept in traditional Chinese medicine that energy kind of needs to move throughout the body. So the characteristics of this deficiency is low energy, shortness of breath, poor appetite, and your digestive system is weak. So weak digestion. This particular constitution is prone to fatigue, and they catch colds easily. Their complexion tends to be pale and weak. In order to balance this particular constitution, you want to look at energy tonifying herbs such as astragalus, ginseng, and licorice root. As far as their diet, you want to recommend a very nutrient dense, easily digestible food such as whole grains, lean proteins, and warming soups, especially now that our weather is switching over to more cooler, temperatures. As far as lifestyle, you want to recommend adequate rest and gentle exercises to build and maintain your energy levels. A common remedy that traditional Chinese medicine recommends for people with the key deficiency is a astragalus soup. And this helps strengthens the energy and supports your immune system. So you may want to try some of that. I haven't tried it, but it seems interesting. Number 6, yang excess constitution. All right. So this type of constitution, you have high energy levels. You're easily overheated. You're prone to conditions like high blood pressure, headaches, irritability, and insomnia. You're often flushed or red, and you prefer cooler environments. How you balance this is cooling herbs. Okay. So in this instance, you can use chrysanthemum, white peony, these type of things. You want to eat cooling fruits and vegetables, leafy greens, especially if you like pears. I like pears. And then as far as your lifestyle, you want to do activities that are more calming to the mind, breathing exercises, these type of things. So the next constitution is the yin deficiency constitution. So with this constitution, you tend to feel warm, dry, or depleted. You tend to have dry mouth, night sweats, thirst, anxiety, insomnia. You prefer cooler environments, but you suffer from dryness. And so the balancing approach to this particular constitution is that you want to use yin nourishing herbs. So that's your goji berries, that is your licorice root. Okay. For diet, using cooling and moistening foods such as cucumbers or pears. And then lifestyle, a lot of meditation, rest, hydration, And in this constitution, you need to avoid overexertion as well as late nights. The next constitution is the blood deficiency constitution. This person tends to have a pale complexion, dizziness, brittle nails, difficulty concentrating. They're prone to anxiety, insomnia, and low energy. They often experience dry skin and hair. And so to balance this constitution, you want to use blood tonifying herbs such as angelica or nettles, goji berries, these type of things. As far as their diet, you want to recommend nutrient-rich foods that actually build the blood, such as dark green leafy vegetables, beets, and iron-rich foods. And you also want to consider this for somebody that has anemia. If it is you, or if it's your child, or a family member, or person or client that you're seeing, you want to look at building the blood because it's so important. And it has so many different functions of the body. I'll probably do a podcast later on in the season, really talking about the importance of our blood and all the chemical properties of it and the importance of keeping it up to where it needs to be. So as far as lifestyle for this particular constitution, you want to look at relaxation, avoiding stress, and overexertion. And so for example, if you created a protocol for somebody that has a blood deficiency constitution and you're looking at lifestyle things and you're looking at exercising. So for somebody that has a deficiency already, you don't want them to overexert themselves. A lot of your diet and actually being able to lose weight has more to do about what you put in your mouth than how you're moving around. It's important. It's an important concept, right? It's important to move around. What you put in your mouth is just as important as the type of exercise you're getting when you're talking about losing weight and these type of things. And these are the reasons why you need to know what a person's constitution is. And this is the reason why I don't really subscribe to one size fits all remedies, because everybody's constitution is unique. You may have somebody that has the same condition, right? They both may have arthritis, but you may have someone that has a cooling constitution and somebody that may have, a heat type of constitution, or vice versa. So because there's those differences, you have to factor that in your formulations so that you can have a more targeted approach, so that the clients will actually be able to get a benefit out of the remedies that you are formulating. And this is why this is important. Also, it's not just about formulating the plants and the medicines and things like that, but you're making overall recommendations around their diet and their lifestyle. Because let's face it, you can give somebody a very targeted plant, or a targeted formulation, but if their lifestyle is still all over the place, or it's antagonistic to the goals, meaning that they're not able to actually work with the body, they're still working against their body, then it's not going to work. And so when you're recommending, especially protocols, you really have to add in that dietary factor, and you really have to add in the lifestyle factor. But you want to make sure that it is in alignment with that person's physical constitution so that it will work and so that the person will reap the benefit because it's tailored to their unique individual constitution. So I'm hoping that makes sense. Now, let's dive a little deeper. All right. Why is it important in herbal formulation to understand? And I kind of explained it a little bit just before, but let's go into it a little deeper. So it's important for several reasons. But number one, like I explained before, personalized treatment. It allows us as herbalists to tailor our formulations to the individual and not the symptoms. Okay, not just the symptoms, because we do address symptoms, make no mistake about that, but that's not the focus. The other thing, it's important because it helps us to address the root issues. If you do a constitutional analysis on your client, it will help you identify the underlying imbalances that could contribute to their health issues. The other thing is that it can help us predict responses that the body may have to our particular formulations. So we can predict how an individual might respond to certain herbs or even certain formulas. Another reason why it's important to understand a person's individual constitution is preventative care. By understanding a person's individual constitution tendencies, this will allow for us to create some preventative measures to use against any potential health issues. Because in herbal formulation, you're always looking at constitutional tendencies, you're looking at patterns, because these things allow you to be able to predict a little bit how a person might respond, but also how can we prevent this going forward? Yes, they may have this tendency. Yes, they may have these patterns, but how can we use this information that we have to prevent health issues from happening in the future? Because everything goes on cycles. Everything runs on patterns. And a lot of times people don't know that and they don't know what to look for. So when you see things come back again, you're like, dang, what's going on? Oh, my body's attacking me. It just popped up out of nowhere again. Right? No, it's not how that happens. It's a pattern, right? That we contribute to. Now, another reason why it's important to understand people's constitution, you will be able to have a holistic approach. So it ensures that your protocols consider the entire person and not just isolated symptoms. So you heard me speak about a little bit earlier about the mental health aspect of a person's constitution. They may tend to be more agitated or tend to be, more calm. These things matter because we look at the whole person, because we understand that all parts have to be functioning well in order for the person to be in perfect balance. And that's what the goal, balance. If the body is in perfect alignment and balance, then it's able to do the healing process that it already has innately. But if the person is off balance, mentally, physically, socially, spiritually, all of these things, then there's going to be imbalance or dis-ease or lack of ease or disorder or out of order. However you want to look at it, it's all the same root. The person is off balance. All right. So you have to look at the entire person. That's what that means. Another reason why it's important to understand a person's constitution is the formulas tailored to an individual's constitution are often more effective than just a one size fits all. It's hard for you to go back and be able to, make your assessments or adjustments as needed if you have a one size fit all formulation or protocol. So you want to tailor it to that person's individual constitution. That way, if necessary, you need to make adjustments, you can actually do that. But if you want to make your formulation more effective, add in the person's individual constitution when considering that. So if you have a formulation notebook, and if you don't, stay tuned, I'm working on that. But if you have a formulation notebook, that should be included. What is the person's constitution? How are they presenting? Because, for example, in traditional Chinese medicine, a person with a hot constitution might receive different herbs for the same condition compared to someone with a cold constitution. Now, in Western herbal medicine, a person with a thin or lighter constitution might receive different cooling herbs compared to someone with a different constitution. So we talked about these different constitutions and all of that. Let's look at just generally, okay? How would you balance these constitutions? So in order to balance a constitution, there are some things that you really have to take in consideration. This is no matter what, okay, their constitution is. These are some things that you want to take into consideration. Number one is the person's innate constitution. So let's consider a person with a hot and dry constitutional type in Western herbal medicine. This person might naturally tend to have a warm body temperature, dry skin, and a quick metabolism. They may be prone to inflammatory conditions when they are out of balance. So you want to look at that. Another thing you want to look at when trying to balance someone's constitution is the energetics of their current health issue. So this same person that we just talked about could come in with symptoms of a cold, including congestion, fatigue, and chills. And so in Western herbal medicine, this would be considered a cold and damp condition. All right. The other thing that you want to take in consideration to balance these constitution, so you want to consider the energetics of the person's current health issue. Okay. Are they hot? Are they cold? these type of things. So the same person could come in with the symptoms of a cold, and this can include congestion, fatigue, and chills. All right. And in this instance, especially in Western herbal medicine, this would be considered a cold and damp condition. So you want to take the energetics of the condition in consideration. And then lastly, to balance these constitutions, you want to consider selecting herbs that can help restore the balance based on all of these factors, based on their innate constitution, based on the energetics of their current health issue. Okay. You want to select herbs that can help restore the balance. This helps you understand formulation on a simple level. It can be complex. It really can be. But my job as the demystified herbalist is to kind of help you make sense of all of this. And so by keeping a simple system, this will help you be able to go in and say, okay, based on these things, this is how I need to do this systematically. So it's almost, in herbal medicine, you look at it as herbalist, right? We are building a house, let's say out of Legos. And the Legos, each Lego that we use is a specific pattern or chemical composition or person's constitution or the chemical properties of the dis-ease or, all of these things are taken into consideration when you are trying to build a formula for a client. And so it's like building a house. There's different parts of it that all work together to create the whole. So it's important to note that these systems, you can look at them like frameworks for understanding patterns when you're talking about the person's constitution. It doesn't have to be anything difficult to understand, but just understand overall general frameworks. They're not rigid rules, and sometimes you may find someone that has a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So you really have to rely on your intuition. You have to rely on understanding not only just the factors of the person's constitution, but take in consideration all the factors that is in front of you. The personal constitution, what's going on with the dis-ease, what's going on with the different types of herbs, what are they taking already, these type of things to help you frame out a stronger, more targeted formulation. All right. So to balance these constitutions, look at the person's innate constitution. Look at the energetics of their current health issue and select herbs that can help restore balance based on all of these factors. And if you look at that, you can create a more targeted, definitely more potent and more effective herbal remedy that people can enjoy as well as help them become better. So if you like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on all of my social media sites at The Demystified Herbalist. Thank you so much for listening. And with that, family, I am out.